He lost all the male members of his immediate family during the war with France and then the American War. Despite these losses, he lives his life to work for peace and to help the poor. He's worked with Mike for more than 16 years, facilitating projects like the My Lai Peace Park Project, primary schools for My Lai, and we all know about My Lai, I trust, the My Lai Loan Fund, compassion houses for victims of Agent Orange, and more. Do has organizing and management skills sought by Vietnamese companies, yet when approached by them, he replies, "I don't live my life for money." And Mike is a veteran of the war, returned to Vietnam in 1992 with 11 other American veterans to build a medical clinic in Dong Nai province, and underwent a profound life-changing experience, which led to his meeting Do in 1995, and the humanitarian work that they have accomplished since then began then. In 1998, Mike was chosen by the Vietnamese documentary producer, Mr. Tran Van Thuy, to take part in the award-winning documentary film, which some of you may have seen. It's called The Sound of the Violin in My Lai. And I would like to ask both our guests to just spend a few minutes describing their work, and then, if it's okay with everyone, we'll open up for questions, okay?
First of all, I'd like to thank the Medicine Quakers, Mike, Ben, and other members of Medicine Quakers who support and sponsor my trip for the first time to the United States and the first time to medicine when we fly from Vietnam too. And I would like to express my thanks to Mr. David Biffy and all the members in this association to let me have this great honor to talk to you today. I was born, my name is Phang Văn Do. I was born in a place near My Lai, just 3 kilometers from My Lai area. The massacre place happened in 1968 in Vietnam. And my family, as David said, was badly, damaged, destroyed by the war. My grandfather was tortured to death in a prison during the French domination by the pro-French government in the early 1940s, because he supported the revolution as they suspected. And then my father was twice executed, but he didn't miss the second executed. He was executed by the VC in 1964. I will still remember the day when the people in black from the darkness rushed into our house. Our house was surrounded, and they heard noises all around the house. They arrested him, tied him behind, pushed him in the darkness, and shot him on the head that night. And that's the second time he was executed. The first time he was executed also by the revolutionary, when he was released from the pro-French government. He was arrested and was ready to be beheaded by a knife by the revolutionary forces. But it was saved lastly in the right time by my cousin's letter. And then my brother, 24 years old, lived in that village, our village, and he was shot by American soldiers in a joint operation with South Vietnam Army, helicopter, tanks, at one night, and his body is still missing. Before I flew to the United States this time, I had 10 days looking for his body. By asking for help from the telepathies in Hanoi and other any sorry, but missing. And I myself, I grew up in, when I went and saw the film, I remember all the days in my childhood when I was born. And I grew up, my mother died young after giving birth to me, and so I grew up when I was wandering around and so on, moved from place to place just to avoid the bomb, the shelling, in the free fire zone. That's only fate, luck, that we survived. Who knows because that's a free fire zone. The shelling and artillery bullet can drop on you anytime. And we try to grow up and survive. And trying to forget the past. Then we moved to the South Saigon area control in a refugee. And I began to study, and I finished my college, graduated. And after 1975, in 1977, I graduated. But fate is that, what I confronted further, not only the death of my relatives, but confronted the discrimination. The communist government against all other families being involved with the South Saigon government or the US involvement. So they put my father's execution background on the blacklist. I was on the blacklist of families. They thought my father must be, a terrible guy. So I did not have any priority, to receive a job after my graduation. Every student in my college after graduation were all assigned a job. So, the same province of Kim Phuc, where she was attacked, tiny province, where I came first to receive a job. Education authority through my profile in my face when actively read my father's execution. I didn't say anything. I picked it up, went back to Saigon, and went back to Quang Ngai, my native province, jobless. It's what a shame because, during my life as a student, I devoted myself participating in demonstrations against the war in Saigon. I worked very hard, and then after the war, and then I joined in other movements. I was chosen to be a security, VC security after Saigon. I worked in the security department of Ho Chi Minh City at that time. But with all my ideal to devote something better for my country. But that's fact is fact. Truth is truth. And went back. And then finally, 1 year later, I was given a job only by fate. The only way fate, thank God. But then in 1994, I confronted the fate. I was given a choice to go abroad, but denied by the communist government because my father's background involved with the execution is something terrible on the bottom of the blacklist. You know, something terrible. So they denied me going abroad on project just for the benefit of the extremely poor farmers of my province. So in 1994, I think that I cannot live in that place, the place I grew up. I didn't tell you about this one. I decided to go away, and in 1984 I went to Ceylon for a job because I cannot stay over there with all the hatred. All the hatred from the communist government against me. And so in 1995, then I decided to go there, but it was given a job there, but by fate then I went to Hanoi. I couldn't go there, and then I chose to go to Hanoi, and I just lived in Hanoi just to feel relief. And then a year later, in 1996, I met Mike Ben. You know, I asked a translator for him in Quang Ngai, and then I started learning, you know, how to work for humanity. Mike Ben's project and Medicine Quakers have done for Quang Ngai people. And after a few years, I couldn't learn from instantly, you know, from the beginning. But after a few years, going from house to house, seeing a lot of people suffering from the war, a lot of people living in extreme poverty. So I feel myself, I'm still lucky, you know, lucky to survive, lucky to live in a better condition. So doing the job giving me, you know, more relief, more hope, and more devotion